All right, moving on to the last section, let's talk about how I've grown as a change agent. So, for this first experience, it took place in my 400 clinical semester on a med surge floor, and I had a patient who had a inguinal hernia surgery, but they were incontinent, meaning they kept on stooling, and they were requiring constant assistance. The stooling just went on uncontrollably all day, and the nurse did not seem to care too much about it. So the tech and I stayed close to the patient and basically took care of them for the day. And eventually, we started to notice there was blood in the stool as well. Soon after, the patient's vitals dropped by the second, and we ended up calling a rapid response team. Despite the close call, the patient actually did survive. And this week, or not this week, this week back when I wrote this, but this was probably about 3 or 4 months ago. I had another patient that had a GI and hernia issues, and they kept experiencing worsening pain and a stop in NG output as well. The nurse, once again, did not seem too keen on checking up on the patient, but I advocated for labs to be drawn, and I made sure that she kept a closer eye on this patient because I learned my lesson last time. And sure enough, the patient's bowel blockage started to worsen and surgery was deemed necessary. Now, although I didn't cure this patient by any means, I feel that I acted as a change agent by pushing their care in the right direction. Now, something I learned is that even if you're not the most educated or qualified person in the room, you should still voice your opinion because you might have insights that people might not be noticing. And I also realized that things can go downhill very quickly unless you pick up on the signs and intervene. Now, this is relevant to the public issue as well because many big organizations that are government controlled, such as the FDA, claims that GMOs are completely safe to consume, even though that there is much research that shows the opposite. Now, even if you're not the most credited voice in the room, you should still voice your opinion. Once again, just because GMOs are normalized does not mean that they're good for our health.